Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing for the LPB IMSA Replica Championship on GT Sport. This is round 3, race 1. We are at Tokyo Expressway South Outer Loop and the cars are just getting away on the formation lap. And I'm with Will again, and we are here for round 3, and this is going to be a cracker, Will, especially with the qualifying being as close as it was.
Yeah, qualifying was really close for this race in both classes, and now the lapping factor going to be around this tight street course, so it should be an interesting 40 minutes.
So on pole in DPI, we have Woo Woo on pole position then, so good qualifying for the Porsche driver, the Wins racing car, and then we have TY in second place on the grid, good qualifying for him.
And then we have Tim in third, showing a good qualifying out of that car, and then we'll have Neil in fourth.
And then we have Bidster in 5th place in the other Peugeot, with Stevie in 6th place in the Acura.
And we'll have, and back in 7th, we have Radas and the Porsche, and Red Bull in 8th in the other Toyota Cadillac.
And then we have the GTD cars, so we have Will on pole position for that one in the Porsche, good pole position for him, with MGR in 2nd place behind, quite a close qualifying for them also.
We have Florida Man in 3rd with Keith in 4th.
And then we have Firepower in 13th in the other Jaguar with Blakeney 14th.
And then we have Brad in 15th and Thunder in 16th.
Yeah, Thundercat struggling with the car a bit in qualifying, but hopefully can do a bit of a better job in the race, but we'll see how things go. But looking back to the DPI cars, Will, strange to see Tim qualifying ahead of Bidster this season. That's the first time he's out-qualified him, I think.
Yeah, it looks like around here he has some pace, and this is going to be one of those tracks that, you know, there might be some, you know, most of the tracks a lot of people don't have good luck with, but it seems Japan normally, out of all the courses you can do, especially this one, normally helps bring out the pace that some people have and only offsets the grid a little bit.
Exactly, as we just go over the curb there and we get ready to line up now. So we've got the DPIs lining up, and then we've got the GTEs about to start lining up behind as well. So we're about ready for the start of this race. Loads of cars compacting together, and this is going to be quite entertaining with this street course. Will, going to be very tight together, and we're about ready for the start.
It should be a very interesting race, to say the least.
So here we are then, up to the line then. The bullet train goes past on the right on the side of the picture behind the camera, and we're looking at Woo Woo for the start. And here we go for Tokyo, and away we go. Everyone's away and away good, and Woo Woo gets a good pull away. And then obviously Tim and Bidster struggling to hold off the other cars with the no hybrid on the cars. And Stevie and Tim side by side into turn 1. Stevie, a bit of contact there. I think GTs are all good. I think MGR's in the lead of that one, but it's all been quite a hectic start. Tim now around the outside of Red Bull, with Bidster on attacking back on the inside as well. So as usual, the Peugeots go backwards at the start, but then we have in GT, we have the MGR leading the way from Will.
Yeah, MGR got a great start off the line and is now trying to get pulled away. And it looks like Keith's going to go down the inside of Florida Man into the hairpin, and now we have 3 different cars in the top 3, and top 2 are starting to pull away a little bit, but we'll have to see toward the end of the race if they can keep that pace.
And the LMPs, looking back to them, they've all sort of spread out already. I mean, I didn't think they'd fan out this quick, but Woo Woo from TY up front. We've got Neil Farmack and Stevie and Tim very close. The Peugeot closes in really fast on the straight with the diesel power and no hybrid, but out the corners, the TSO30 or the Acura TSO30, weird concept because we've had to sort of combine a few cars together. Comes out, and out the chicane, we've got Rodders wide into the wall there. A lot of the LMP cars and GT cars for that matter, Will, struggling with this chicane.
Yeah, this chicane is very tight. Oh, we have a Corvette hitting the wall on the exit. But they're really having the cars really don't like that chicane. They're just having to make it work and try to get through as quick as possible. The MGR leading Lexus got a great run out of it because him and Will were side by side from the hairpin all the way to the chicane. So really making that chicane work to his advantage.
Oh, and wide Will and Keith into the first corner, hitting the wall on the outside again. Another braking zone that everyone was finding quite hard, especially in the GTs, to get the car slowed down.
Yeah, and it's really hard to get the car to slow down for that corner because you think it's a lot faster than it really is and end up catching a lot of people out.
I mean, it looks really open, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, psych, you've got a really, really tight corner, and then you can't really slow down anymore. In LMP then, anyway, out front we've got TY. It's kind of keeping the gap quite very close to Woo Woo, but not able to challenge as of yet, not quite close enough. Then we have Stevie fourth. He's actually catching up Neil Farmer here, so Stevie looking for a podium position early in this race as they all hop over the curbs. And Tim's off at the chicane. Tim hops the inside curb and goes off, and Red Bull just goes straight through him. Luckily didn't ghost back, but Tim obviously showed promising qualifying, Will, but maybe on the consistent pace, not quite there yet.
Yeah, and it's one of them things that, this track can bring out a lot of speed in everybody, but it's really tight and difficult. So if you don't have the consistency, it's really going to end up biting you.
So Tim goes back down to 7th place, then Red Bull ends up getting a place out of that. Let's have a look back at the GT boys. MGR still from Will, and then we have Keith and Florida Man challenging around the outside of the Jaguar there, but there's no way through. The Jaguar should have the legs on the straight, Will, but the Lexus is no slouch in a straight line.
No, the Lexus is really good in a straight line, and it's really shown with the two up front that the Porsche is just able to stick with it, not really get around it. So, I mean, they both have some pace. It's just the Jaguar is a little quicker. It's just going to have to set up a pass when it's really safe to do so.
And speaking of pass, Florida Man makes it through on Keith there, and Keith went wide at turn 1 like we just talked about, and Florida Man goes straight through into 3rd place then in class. So the Jaguars just struggling with the long corners, but again they've got plenty of straights and acceleration zones to try and gain back some time here, and quite impressed with the Corvette so far. I mean, in the last couple of races they've dropped off quite quick from the pack, but in this one looks like they're able to stay up with the pack at least.
Yeah, and that's the draft is really one thing that's going to help out a lot here, where we just seen as long as you can stay in the draft, you can pretty much stay with the pack. And that's like the top two here. They're drafting each other like it's the last lap of the race and trying to make passes. I mean, everyone's trying to make a pass, one gets squeezed. Another one tries to make a pass, another one gets squeezed. So these two up front are battling like it's the last lap of the race.
They're only on lap 4, so one needs to get on the radio and tell them that. But anyway, lap 4 of this race, and Will and MGR are very close together out front in this race. But Florida Man is closing in a little bit on them, and especially if Will goes wide like that, he might have the Lexus on top of him quicker than he wants. But yeah, again, in that Porsche, I didn't really think it would be as good round here, especially with all the straights and everything. But yeah, the Porsche seems to be holding its own here.
Yeah, and that's really surprising because Porsches really aren't known for straight line speed or known for cornering ability. So, especially for that car to be on pole, it's really the corner. And Florida Man going really wide in turn 1.
Now, I was looking at the LMPs. Will, we've just had Stevie attempt to go up the inside of Neil Farmack at the tunnel, and we know what that's going to end up being the wall. So, and yeah, luckily both cars survive, but Bidster does make up 2 positions there. Stevie slides out the chicane and almost leaves his teammate nowhere to go. So, LMP battle is hotting up here. And what was that you saw in GTE, Will?
The Florida Man really wide in turn 1, and then going on the hairpin ended up hitting Will wide and having to wait up, so that dropped him back, and now Keith's all over Florida Man's tail once again.
Yeah, because we've got the camera back on that now, and yeah, Florida Man has gone back into the hands of the Jaguar, but it's just whether Keith can stick with him through the long corners. But also we've got to think about fuel as well in this race, and if we look at the fuel, the Jaguars have used a bit. Well, they're all a bit even, really. They're not too bad at this stage. Obviously, the Lexus and the big V8 cars using a bit more fuel than the Porsches, but everything looks okay for now, really.
Actually, the Lexus is doing better than the Porsche. The Porsche is just over a quarter of a tank, or half a tank, to where the Lexus is actually in between a 3/4 and a half a tank.
Incident further back, Firepower's round. Firepower's gone round and exit the chicane. Such a shame because he was doing well. Finds a gear, and now he's got to try and get turned round, and he's into the wall. He's now just probably hitting his head on the wheel or trying to find his drink. But now we've got LMPs coming through, Will, and this is another subject I wanted to talk about with you before they get lapping, really. But this is probably going to be one of the hardest tracks on the calendar for lapping because of the narrowness of the circuit.
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, because it seems like no matter all these long sweeping corners, if you don't take the right line, you just drag out into the wall. So you really have to time your passes and don't do anything too crazy, especially this early in the race. So you end up not ruining your race and the GT car race, because that is a penalty if you impede a GT car.
Yep, for definite it is. And also Red Bull has got past Stevie. I wonder if that was a bit of team tactics there by Stevie, because Red Bull does look like he's actually on some decent pace. The last few laps, all below the 20s. I mean, lap 4 was an 18.7. So Red Bull on the move here, and he's looking down the inside of Neil Farmack, who just lets him go through. So not much fight put up there by Neil Farmack, surprisingly, but now Red Bull goes wide and Neil goes back through again. And on the hybrid, I'm sure he'll get ahead, because the TSO 50s hybrid is a bit stronger than the TSO 30s.
Yeah, and it is. That shows the year difference between the two cars. And Neil is all over the back of Bidster, but really have to worry about the legs on that Peugeot, because that's where he's really going to get him.
Yep, there he goes. He's off. He's made his gap, but yeah, I was just saying there, well, he's whispering, there's a joke, the TSO 30, it's actually supposed to be in the Acora, but it's not really. It's his deliveries on the thing, it's the closest we could get to the Acora, but over the chicane, Neil losing out on the way out, and Red Bull goes to the outside, sparking off the wall, and there's no way through. Red Bull means business here. Does he know it's lap 7 of 31, or does he think it's lap 27? Wow. But anyway, we're coming up to the traffic now, and this is going to get tasty, Will.
And now, especially with people battling all the way through this pack here, it's really going to be interesting watching these guys lap.
Yeah, we've got MGR and Will alongside for the GT lead, and Will just swoops past them, and MGR's on the inside of Will, and he's trying to use the LMP car to sort of block Will on the way out, but yeah, Will's definitely up on this now. The Porsche means business in GTE.
Yeah, these two have been battling like this since this drop of the green flag, so I don't expect to see this stop unless something major happens between these two.
Or Florida Man gets involved, because in the minute he's about to come out a little sort of a red tomato in the middle of a tomato sandwich, because the lower bread's catching up, and it's going for the inside now into the next corner. Have a look on the inside. Will gives him space, but there's no way through. But we know from Florida Man's driving in recent races, he's not afraid to stick it down the inside, and there he goes. Will down towards the chicane. Oh, Will's into the wall.
In the wall.
Oh, what happened there, Will?
Oh, looks like tried to outbrake, and it just did not work out.
Nope, it didn't. And the Soch Corvette him up, and now he's got his teammate behind him. And then the LMPs, most of the LMPs are actually getting quite lucky, because they're actually getting through on the straight, which is probably handy for them and the GTEs, because it doesn't make them panic as much. But we've got Stevie trying to go around the outside of turn 1, and of Neil Farmack. Actually, they're side by side for position here. And we go through the next corner. Now we've got both Lexuses in front. Both Lexuses now in front. Now we've got to try and fold past here somewhere. Everyone going to the left and trying to get through. It's a traffic jam. Everyone trying to get through, and now MGR's got cars each side of him into the apex. Bidster gets through on the outside. Steve and Tim and Neil have to wait behind. That's not helped their race out, but now Neil gets on the hybrid and just out drags the Peugeot, but I'm sure you'll see that Peugeot nip the next corner, Will.
Yeah, especially with how quick that Peugeot is in a straight line. He'll probably at least be having him back up his backside by the end of the straight.
And also, one thing that's not going to help out as well is the fuel for the diesels, because the diesel Peugeot might be quick in a straight line, but it's not as good on holding the fuel as the hybrids are. The modern hybrids don't burn as much fuel, yeah, Stevie holding off Bidster there. Bidster going for a bit of an attack, but Stevie having none of it. Back to the rivalry of the Project Cars 2 days. And Tim holding off Neil Farmack now, but Neil Farmack's dropped right off, so he's obviously not had a good time with the traffic. And yeah, we thought that would be the case around here with the traffic for everyone, not just Neil.
Yeah, everybody's having looks like a rough time with this traffic. Like we just saw, everybody trying to lap the 2 leaders in GT. It's just it's a big cluster everywhere, because everybody's trying to get through in 2 gaps.
And also on this track, the pit lane is near where the hairpin is on the map on the top right corner. You can see the map. The actual pit lane is out as you come out that hairpin. If you keep to the right out the hairpin, the pit lane's there. So the pit lane is actually offset to the finish line, and that could make things interesting later on in the race.
Yeah, it really could, because of where it is at. It makes it to where you can really adjust your pit strategy because of when you cross the start finish. So that really also is something to watch for.
And also something else that I want to try and keep an eye on, Will, is the fact that Woo Woo out front, his tyres are looking very worn and he's used a lot of fuel. Meanwhile, TY's not exactly got that kind of problem.
And that's how TY normally is. I mean, normally we see him at the point where tires are really getting worn down, and then there he is just showing some red and having over half a tank of fuel in. So that's really going to be somebody to watch in this race to see if he can really manage tires and fuel enough to stay at the front.
So TY going for the long game on the tyres and fuel, and it might work in his favour for this actually, because he might be able to just do a one stop and then go to the line. So we'll see how he goes with that. Meanwhile, we've got a battle further back here. We've got Bidster, Stevie and Tim all together. So we've got two Peugeots and then we've got the Acura in the middle of Stevie, and then we've got Neil Farmack in behind in the white Toyota. So yeah, all very close around here, and looks like the Acura of Stevie gets through in the corner as Bidster runs wide. Tim's now having a go at Bids as well, and Bids looks like he just lets him through and lets Tim have a stab at Stevie. So not like Bidster to give up a place like that, but it is his teammate.
Yeah, and at this early in the race, if especially if someone's quicker than you, most of the time, you see somebody get let through because they know that maybe at the end of the race they can have the pace to get that place back.
So now we're just having a little look at the GT battle now. I know we have Florida Man in the lead of GT. So and look at MGR's tyres. I mean, we can see this, guys, but other people in the race, they can all see their own. But MGR's tyres have finished, and also we've got we had Keith there having a look at the inside of Blake, but no way through there. Oh, and here we are, first of the pit stops for the GT car as well.
And Blake actually took the position going down into the hairpin. Looks like he didn't know Keith was planning on pitting, but tried to make the pass happen anyway, and maybe held Keith up going into the pits. But it was still clean getting through, no issues there. So now Keith and Thunder are in. Aaron, team MGR is in and out.
Yeah, everyone.
Keith
I think everyone below. I think everyone behind the leaders in GT just decided to pit. Then just thought, right, everyone else is going in, we'll follow, which might actually work out in a lot of people's favour here, because it'll keep them on the same strategy as the front runners. Meanwhile, LMP pit stops as well now. Will.
And LMPs are, and TY is actually stopped with Woo Woo, which is surprising. Figured he would stay out a little longer.
Yeah.
Red Bull's in, and that's about the only three that Neil Farmack is also in.
Stevie, Tim, and Bidster have gone round, but Woo Woo is out right behind Bidster, Tim, and Stevie. So he's not only come out the pits, he's come out the pits with draft.
And that's really going to help out right there and keep him with the pack, not to try to fight back. So that could actually end up putting him in a really good spot.
And another strange one, Will. Sorry to interrupt, another one I've just noticed is Woo Woo was doing worse on fuel, and he's put 3/4 in. TY's put a full tank in. This is getting stranger and stranger by the second, this race.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to stay with the pack to get away more than try to go the long run, because he's going to have to make another stop, because we're not even at the halfway point. It's at 3 laps to go to the halfway point, so they know they're going to have to pit at least one more time. So
in your expertise, you should be alright with that strategy then, as we see Florida Man, Will and Blake in the pits then, so the remaining GTE cars into the pit lane. Then we're going to watch MGR coming round here as well. We're going to see if he gets any closer to anyone as he's going out the pits. We've got Florida Man still in the pit lane. MGR's about to come around the last corner, and there goes Will. Will's out first, but he's going to get up to speed. MGR goes through, and Florida Man comes out in the pack. And MGR and Will now side by side. What a dramatic exit of the pits that was. And now Will tucks in for the draft.
Yeah, and actually, Will did not. He only took just over a half a tank of fuel.
Spinner at the exit of the hairpin. Can't quite see who that was. I think it was an LMP car. I'm just cycling through here, guys. Apologies. Just have a look at who it might have been. No clue as of yet, but I'm sure I saw a arrow go sideways, but it might have been one of the cars heading for the pits. It might have been Bidster or Stevie. So Rodders goes through now, and they come out near the back of the field anyway of LMP. So first pit stop's done. Well, what would be your take on the race so far regarding strategy of people?
A lot of people are gambling, because we're seeing you, Woo Woo, only do 3/4 of a tank. Will coming out of the pits only doing a half a tank. MGR on 3/4 of a tank. Keith on 3/4 of a tank. Blake, same thing. And then Florida Man, the only one filling up out of the top runners. So everybody's trying something different to see if the strategy can get them this race win, but how close it is on track.
And we're just looking at one man that's not pitted, and that's Tim. But now we've got massive GT traffic as well with him and TY approaching it. Wuwu's only just got past them, and now Tim and TY are stuck behind this lot. But I think Tim's heading for the pit lane. He's keeping to the outside, usually be on the inside. And is he going for? Oh no, he's not. He's actually staying in the fight. So he's trying to go around the outside of everyone. And TY then just goes straight through. That's the experience here of TY with the traffic. And Tim's still looking for a way through. And he's on red fuel.
Tim's fighting pretty hard, but he's going to be within the lap, so he's really trying to fight to keep that position back. But he's going to have to work for it with TY.
Yeah, as TY works his way past MGR and Will, and now Tim just dives at the inside and just gets through before the braking zone. It's a good job from Tim there. But still, the battle rages on between MGR and Will, very close in the GTLM class. And looks like they're both holding on quite well. Obviously, Will's gone for the less fuel, so unless they're going for a quick middle stint, Will, and they're actually going to try and fill up properly for the last stint of the race.
Then also they have to worry about how many times they're going to get lapped. This is the second time they've been lapped, so this is really going to. And he's going to try to look at it, but no, he doesn't get it in turn one. That was going to be a close one if he's going to try to go for that move, but he's going to tuck back in and make it around the outside, or he's going to try to go around the outside of this second kink, but they touch.
We're just coming on to the bit where it narrows down off the overpass now, and Will is through. Will does make it through a brilliant sequence of corners, some good trust within the two drivers there, but MGR dives down the inside into the hairpin again. Oh, was contact! Will turns in, he finds there's a Lexus there, and didn't quite give MGR enough room there, but MGR having to go on the inside. Will not quite see him, but luckily both cars keep going, but that could have ended a lot worse.
Yeah, could end up with a spin going around. Not sure if he just didn't see he was there. Oh, and we have no more contact. Looks like didn't know the prototypes were coming through right then.
Yep. Oh, no. Oh, just shoved Neil into a wall. That's pretty much the norm at the moment. But MGR now taking advantage of that down the inside into the corner at the end of the straight and goes through, but runs wide, and Will straight back to the inside now. Brilliant fight between these two. No, nudge, have that. Will's not going to give up. Side by side through the chicane, and Will gets it. What a race between these two. Brilliant trust in each other's driving there.
Yeah, and he took really good advantage of all that confusion going on there and got through, but going a little too deep, and surprisingly, last time the Porsche tried to make a move like that, it didn't work out.
Oh, they're touching each other on the straight again. These two do not like each other. They both don't like each other's wing mirrors, I'm sure, because they're both trying to knock them off. It's absolutely insane. It's like touring car racing, but worse. It's have these guys read the script? Do they know we're in an IMSA championship? We're not into touring car stuff anymore.
And it's like one of them's like, oh, you did this to me last lap, so I'm gonna do it to you now.
Yeah, it's like two schoolboys having a fight. My rock's bigger than yours.
Every time one tries to make a pass, they squeeze somebody, and then it end up flipping, and then they try to squeeze them, and then another one's trying to make the pass. So
meanwhile,
it's like they're doing, you did this to me, I'm doing it to you.
Yeah, Blake, meanwhile, rubbing his hands, thinking, okay, you two take each other off, I might be able to gain a place. Yes, one's my teammate, but sometimes you just go for it. And now these GTLMs are battling, but they've got LMPs on them, so this is going to be fun, because the GTEs do get right of way here, and Rodders and Tim are going to get held up here if they're not careful. This is going to be close, Will.
Oh, both of them get really held up. They have nowhere to. Tim just had nowhere to go there.
As Tim makes it through, just through past Will, but then that's given MGR a bit of a gap now. So the traffic's not helped Will out. He's lost a bit of time to MGR there. So we'll have to see if we can get back on his tail. But just do a quick update in LMP for you, just over half distance. So we have Wuwu in the lead of the race in LMP. TY is second with a fast lap of 1:18.2 last time round, Will. Two very consistent laps, and looks like TY's on the move.
Yeah, TY is really now trying to see what he can do with it being the halfway point, because he probably knows he can make it to the end now, but he's going to look at strategy to stay with everybody. So he's going to be really one to watch towards the end.
So then we've got Red Bull and Neil battling for third and fourth, and they're right tucked up each other's gearboxes. This is a battle worth watching as we look down towards the tunnel. Wonder if Neil Farmer could go for it down here, or if it could even be saving fuel, because Neil is very low on fuel compared to Red Bull here. I can't keep up with all these different strategies, Will. I don't know how you keep up.
Everybody looks like all down the field's trying something different to see where they, because how close it is on track. You think, well, if I can beat him on strategy, that'll be a lot easier than trying to outrace somebody. So they're really going to try to see what's going to work for them.
So Rebel and Neil still very close here. Then we've got Stevie on his own in 5th. Bidster is 6th, but Rodders and Tim aren't too far off his tail here, so not the best track for the Peugeots, but Bidster is trying hard now.
Yeah, and this track really isn't great for the Peugeot, except when you get to the end of the long straightaway. That's where that car really can come alive at, but everywhere else it's really not the greatest, but it looks like seems making it work.
And then we've got the GT runners, the GTLM runners. Sorry, I said GT earlier, didn't it? It's GTLM, I must remember, America. So MGR and Will again battling now side by side. These two, I think they're just trying to have a chat from window to window.
It looks about right. Every time we look at them, they're side by side.
Hello again, no, hello again. You know, as Will holds it around the outside then, and then MGR trying to hold it around the outside for the next kink, but again, Will makes that move work at turn 1. And if he can keep doing what he's doing, he's actually getting into he's actually in the lead of the class at the right moment. So all he needs to do now is do that on the last lap. Meanwhile, Blake just hit the wall behind Will, and on the exit of that long, fast right-hander, everyone really tries to get the foot down for that corner, but obviously sometimes too early, and that's the result.
And we have another
contact!
change.
Blakeney and Florida Man. Sorry, Will. Blakeney and Florida Man contact on the way out of the hairpin, but they both get going. But that's going to help Keith close up. So what were you saying, Will?
Yeah, another lead change in GT again. Going down
again.
Every time I look at it, there's a lead change.
I don't know about you, Will. I'm running out of chalk here. I'm like, another tally. No, another tally. Oh, okay. I'll use my fingernails then. You know,
and one thing I'm noticing is that, and the team points really don't see it, but on track, it seems like the team battle is really going to go between Lexus and Flying Lizard in this team championship, because every time you see a Lexus, you see a Porsche not far behind.
Yeah, it's going to be quite close between them, I reckon, as the season unfolds. Definitely in Division 2. Also, one thing we didn't mention, Will, is the weight penalty to the cars that people were on. Bidster is on maximum weight 75 kilos, and we've got Neil on 50 kilos, and we've got Woo Woo on 25. So that might explain a bit of Bidster's lack of pace in this one. Meanwhile, he's under attack from Rodders as well. And then GTE, we've got Keith on 75, so he's not doing bad to say the weight as well. Florida Man 50 and Firepower 25. So Firepower, with his first experience of weight, that might be why he's not as competitive in this first race.
Yeah, and also that really could have upset the car going at chicane, that extra weight he's not used to. So
yes.
That really also changed it. And we have someone Will pitting in GT. I mean, it looks like in GT, the people with weight's not doing that bad considering the weight. But it seems like you're able to control the weight a little better in the GT cars. It looks like both Porsches actually pitted together.
Yeah, this could be a swap between positions, because Will came in literally with no fuel left, so he timed that to perfection. And yes, Blake is out first. Will is still in the pit lane here. Bradders is in as well, and Will's still in the pits. And it's just come out now. Only Justin is now out. He's behind Thundercats and Firepower, but he's gone for a full tank of fuel. Could that be the difference maker? Well, not quite sure. Oh, he doesn't see Firepower on his outside and gives him a little rub towards the wall, but sure Firepower will be quite happy with a draft. But yeah, that's a bit of a turnout for the Bucks.
And it looks like now probably expecting to try to go to the end on what he's doing, or thinking that go ahead and fill up, and then the next time you need to pit for tires, you need to pit, just take tires.
Yeah, and meanwhile, TY's caught right up to Woo Woo, but he's just had to encounter the two Lexuses at the first corner. They're battling for class lead as well. And TY was closing up rapidly there, but obviously just got caught out in the traffic, and Woo Woo gets another life. But Woo Woo is on red fuel. We might see him in the pits this lap, or even if not the next.
Yeah, it seemed like...
Yep, he's in.
And it looks like...
wide.
Will be in.
TY's followed him in though. That gave TY plenty of time to react, so TY just topping him off, just trying to steer with him, so that'll really pee Woo Woo off, because he wants to try and get away from TY if he can. TY's already on his way out. He's passed him in the pit lane. Change for lead then in DPI, and TY leads the race. Woo Woo having to put fuel in second.
Now do you think, because TY is just over a half a tank, do you think he can make it to the end with 10 laps to go?
Well, with how he's calculated the first half of the race, maybe yes, but this is TY we're talking about. TY could probably run it on lean 6 for the rest of the race and still stay ahead, because it is TY. And he'll probably, because remember the old Super Formula Championship that we did. TY just I've got 100 kilos on. Yeah, I'll just stay out front. I'll be fine. And I'll just keep it with the rest. So yeah, it doesn't really bother him, TY, I don't think. But I know what you mean though. Half a tank, yeah, I reckon he could do it, but it would be a bit of a squeeze.
I mean, it's not like he's been hanging back doing slow laps the whole race. On lap 16, he set the fastest lap of the race at a 1:18.2. So I mean, he's been pacing with the rest of the field the entire race, just been hanging back, and it looks like it's worked out for him because he has a big lead over second because of the pit stops.
Yeah, that's at least a good 8 to 10 second gap now. So TY coming down to the hairpin then, and Woo just coming down to the off the overpass. And yeah, Woo with a bit of work to do here. Then he's got a lot more fuel in the tank as well. So we know Woo will get to the end. He'll be able to, and he'll be able to push probably all the way as well. Stevie then not too far behind Woo, but he has got to pit at some point, so that's not really him up that side of the race. Bidster and Red Bull having a fight here, and Red Bull losing out to Bidster there. We'll try and close up on the hybrid out the corner, but that Peugeot will just pull away and see you later, alligator. But you never know, Red Bull will have a go probably if he can.
We almost had a big accident going out of the hairpin with Blake and MGR. Looks like it was kind of hard to tell if MGR stuck his nose in or Blake turned in too early, but Bout had to spin around and had to wait up for him, and MGR almost lost it trying to get going again. Right. So the battle isn't lost between the Porsche and the Lexus.
There's a second lot of contact between the Lexus and the Porsche this race, because obviously he's had an incident with Will already into the hairpin that I saw earlier, but MGR into the inside and trying to make a gap. He wasn't alongside enough to go for that move really, and Blake had every right to turn in there. He wasn't alongside enough in my view, but yeah, MGR looks like he's getting a bit desperate now. Literally, I think looking at the back of that red Porsche is giving him red mist. Yeah,
I mean, you can tell that that they're really trying to keep their lead, because right now, MGR after that performance from Ian last race fell down to 4th in the championship, but only 2 points behind. So he's trying to make up what he can in this race, so he can go to the double points race ahead and gain even more points.
Yeah, obviously next round at round 4 it'll be double points, so that'll be handy to get. But obviously we've still got the next race to do after this in Tokyo as well, which will be where we swap classes. So that could be interesting as well. And if we go down, braking into the hairpin, and MGR that this time holds Blake off. Oh, but he gets the power out the corner and whacks the wall, but Blatantly doesn't have anywhere to go, so he got very lucky there. But any more mistakes like that and he could lose his lead. They are side by side now, Will.
Yeah, and with how much they're fighting, every time the camera goes back, look who's in the background. You see Will and Keith slowly bringing it back up. So if these two keep fighting like this, they're going to have some company on their hands.
And with the fuel deterioration of the Jaguar and the Porsche, they've got to be careful because they have been drinking a bit in this race. But anyway, MGR to the inside this time, trying to bang, hits him on the inside, and he should let him go here. But now we've got a very laggy Rodders trying to get past as well, and he gets past there. But MGR he's like a touring car race, and he now knocks Blatantly over the curbs and goes around the outside of him. That's just bullying your way past in my book.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bullying move to get him by. That one might end up getting looked at. I'm not entirely sure, but he gets through, and now probably not going to end up getting the lead because Florida Man has a huge gap.
Well,
he's going to end up pitting now, so he's going to end up getting a lot of that back. But I don't know. And MGR looks like he might end up going to the end with only a handful of laps left in prototype. So that after that move, that should end up putting him in the lead. So we're actually probably end up looking at that one because that was just absolutely bullied his way through.
Yeah, that was not called for at all with MGR. But now we've got Florida Man coming out of the pits. He's got to get up to speed, and now he's got MGR and Blake on his tail. And it looks like Florida Man is getting up to speed, and looks like he's got it because they're about matching the same speed now. So looks like Florida Man's held his lead, and that might be just out of drafting range.
And this might be, but even if it is at drafting range, 2 cars drafting against 1 car drafting will still bring them up to the car ahead. So he's not out of this race just yet.
Still NASCAR experience from you there, Will. As 2 cars running together do go faster than one on its own. As MGR goes a bit wide there, but okay. Let's have a little check on the LMP side of things. So we have TY in the lead still. The fuel's gone down quite a bit. Making it to the end, he could possibly do that, but Woo Woo is pushing 18.0 on lap 23, fastest lap of the race. TY's in the 19.3s. This could be a close finish.
Yeah, and if Ewan can keep that pace up and also make it to the end, that's going to be really tight towards the end to see who's going to make it around.
So we're just having a quick flick through. There's not many battles in LMP at the minute, so Florida Man in the lead of GTLM with MGR second, Blake third. Then we've got Will in fourth in class, then Keith just behind. Now we've got a nice little battle back here. Oh, Thundercats into the wall there, but we've got the 2 Corvettes holding off Firepower. So after Firepower's first win last time out, which was very impressive that we both stated last time, but Firepower just struggling to get some performance out of his Jaguar here, especially with running the weight for the first time. It doesn't look like he's very comfy with it.
No, it looks like he's a little out of his element, not
Tim
used to
squeezed.
it. Oh, the Persia get really tight in there.
He says, I'll go this
but
way.
he's really not used to it, not used to being in the weight and running as good as he is in this championship, so it's really going to throw him off a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, and with the weight, it's as much of a mental battle as it is a physical battle with the car, because you know that you're heavier, so you know you'll be slower into some corners, and that can sometimes affect your confidence with the car.
Yeah, and it really can. That also could be a factor there with that car. So, and he's not doing. He's still able
Contact
to
between the Corvettes.
Oh yeah, the Corvettes going at each other, but he's not in the. You're not going to definitely finish last. So you can still get around the 2 Corvettes and have a decent finish considering the race he's had. So it's not all over for Ian just yet.
Yeah, not over just yet, but the GTLM battle is still running strong, and now we've got MGR catching right up to Florida Man now. Florida Man looks like he's in a danger zone here, but he has got fresh tyres. MGR's front tyres don't look like they're going to last too long.
No, they really don't. And it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to end up pushing like that toward the end of the race, or is he going to calm down here in a minute.
We'll have to see what he's going to do, because he's been pushing hard, and Blake's tyres are better than his as well. Obviously, Blake's got a bit less fuel, but he has got better tyres, so it might be worth Blake doing some fuel saving in the draft and then trying to just work his way up on tyres as the race goes on. Keith fell off this back of this lot a bit here. He's now down a bit further back. So's Will as well. Will's dropped off after doing that long fuel stop earlier, but again, that could help towards the end. What we want to see. Let's go back to LMPs and have a look what's going on out with the LMP. So Red Bull's on his own in third, Stevie fourth at the hairpin. We've got Tim and Neil having a nice little battle for 5th and 6th here. Tim on very old tyres and not much fuel. Neil on more or less brand new tyres and not much fuel. So, yeah, looks like the tyre situation is going to help Neil Farmer get through, and the hybrid, because look what that does. Straight past him.
Yeah, but Tim's going to have the upper leg right about now, so that probably end up going to try to take the position back, but Neil's going to do some great defending.
Yeah, and Neil's going to have the tyre advantage as well when it comes to the first sector of the race as well. Tim sticking behind him this time, not willing to go for the overtake. Neil Farmick holds on in 5th place. Bids doing 7th, not a good race for Bids in this one, and that's not going to help his championship, but he has got fresh rubber and plenty of fuel to get into the end of the race, so he must have I think he's over-fueled there again, so yeah, not a good race for Bids here.
No, but it looks like, I mean, he might be able to get in drafting range to catch these 2, so could end up changing to a 3-way battle, but he only has about 2 to 3 laps to do it. So it's going to be tight, but there is a slight chance.
He has just done his personal best of the race, 1:18.7. Cars ahead on the 21s and the 20s, so yeah, definitely could make up some places here. Let's have a look at the TY and Woo Woo gap, and TY holding it steady on 19s. Looks like he'll be able to get to the end on fuel if he's alright, because he's not at the constant burn rate, he's not doing too bad. And tyres are much better as well than Woo Woo's. And Woo Woo, if you remember when Woo Woo came out of the pits, he had 3/4 of a tank. He's only got a quarter left now, so you might even have to watch the fuel coming to the end if he pushes too hard.
But he is catching, because if you look on track, he's not as far back as he was, so he is making up time. It's just, is it going to be worth it?
Yeah, and also he's going to have anything left to fight with once he gets there. Because, you know, usually sod's law, what me and you have done in some races as well, where we've closed up and then we've got nothing left to fight with once we get there. So it can happen.
Yeah, and that's one thing that probably end up happening here, because his front tires are not looking very good, and his fuel is going to be tight, because we're coming down to about 2 laps left in this race, and he's going to have to really make sure that that's going to get him to the end, which I believe it will, but with some of the fuel is in this, it might be difficult.
Bidster is in now. He's in 6th place now. Looks like Tim has made a mistake at the chicane somewhere, because he does no 123 last time round, and also he's on quite dead tyres and not much fuel, almost fumes for him. So he's let Bidster go, which is sensible. And Bids is now still trying to catch Neil Farmer, but he did a 120 last time round. So I wonder if the Peugeots had some kind of coming together or something weird there. But or it could have been traffic. But Will and Keith having a nice battle here, and Will's close up to Keith, so he's trying to get past him now. But there go the there go the DPIs. And Blakeney's just come out of the pits. Blakeney's been in the pits.
Made a late stop.
Yes, he must have been low on fuel, because remember when we saw him, he didn't have as much fuel as the rest, did he? So he must have pitted for fuel and just put fresh tyres on while he's there. So that's hurt his race, and that's probably his race done now, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's fallen way back, and these guys probably only have about a lap maybe of the race. So now it's basically, I mean, unless something major happens, that's probably where he's going to be at, which isn't where he wanted to be. But you know, that's where strategy comes into play.
And Will really pressuring Keith into the chicane, and Keith hops up the curb, and Will makes a mistake. And I think, did Keith make one as well? No, Keith continued, but Will made a mistake there into the chicane, and that's lost him some more time. And now Blakeney has got a car to catch. It's his teammate. I wonder if they'll be able to work together in these last few laps, but Will might make it easier for Blake, because Blake is on fresh rubber here.
Yeah, and that just depends on if they know, because if they're not really communicating, then you don't know. And, oh no, he's going to go right over and top of him, so no, they're going to battle for it.
Yeah, and Will goes into turn 1, understeers a bit with the older tyres, but Blake will have to just play a patience game here. They don't want to take each other out, because they are teammates here, so we've got to be careful. I'll let you two watch that, Will. I'll just check on the leader. TY is just on to his final lap of the race here. Feel good for one more lap. Woo Woo is close. He's closer than he was, but I don't think it's going to be enough, because the last lap times, 1:19 lap times for TY, 1:19.6 and 1:19.2, but Woo Woo's done a 1:19.1, which was very impressive, but then the last lap was a 20.0, so I don't think he's going to catch up. But it's been a valiant effort by Woo Woo, but looks like TY's just trumped him and just played his cards right, pitted when he pitted, and had the fuel and tyres to help.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's really helped him out in this race, and it seems like this race was whoever had the better strategy, because how close it was.
So we've got TY coming down the back straight now, Woo Woo in second. Then Red Bull, we've got quite a nice battle round the back with the 2 Corvettes and the Jaguar for 14th, 15th and 16th. And Red Bull trying to make his way through past them boys, but not
MGR is around out of the chicane.
Let's have a look. Yeah, we're on it now. Yeah, MGR round, and he's gone right down. Will and Blake go past on the outside there. MGR's gone round and he hits another Porsche, but unlucky for MGR in there. Those front tyres are destroyed now. But meanwhile, before we get on to that, TY round the last corner for victory here at Tokyo in race 1. Well done, TY. Fantastic win for him, and a brilliant show of how to do it there. Woo Woo have had a well-deserved second there, and not able to keep with him just at the end there, Will.
Yeah, I mean, TY had amazing pace and was able to save fuel all day, and his strategy got him up to the front, and his pace kept him there. So I mean, Woo had a great race trying to make it back, just not enough time to be able to make it work.
And these guys at the back will finish 14th, 15th, 16th. They're coming to the line now. It's Bradders ahead of Firepower. Good, decent finish there for the Corvette with the Jaguar in 15th. And Thundercats has spun. He'll definitely be 16th. But let's have a look at everyone else then. So Red Bull and Stevie have finished in the two Acoras, 3rd and 4th. Neil Farmack finishes 5th. Bidster in 6th. Tim will finish 7th, so not a good rate around there for the Peugeots. And then Rodders lagging his way through the chicane. But then we've got Florida Man behind him coming through to take GTLM honours. But look at the fuel, Will!
Yeah, and it looks like he is gonna just make it. Oh no, his fuel's cutting out. It looks like on the screen it was cutting out right at the line.
Ran out right over the line. That is NASCAR style stuff, that, Will, isn't it? That is incredible. But look at this battle behind. Blake's ahead of MJR. Hits the chicane again, and Will goes through. Oh, last lap drama there. Floridan's won the race, but Blake's going to take 2nd place. I bet he didn't see that coming over after the last pit stop. Will's trying to get going there in 11th. What's he waiting for?
He's out of fuel.
He's out of fuel. MGR's coming to the line. Oh, Will, this is NASCAR stuff. You take it from here. I can't talk.
And MGR is just going to get the place back right before the line. And the fuel bit, that would have been a perfect getting the place back, but the fuel ended up biting.
Will's out of fuel. Well. Keith's out of fuel. Where Keith is? Keith's out of fuel as well. He's trying to get to the end, but Keith's out of fuel there. So that is unlucky. We're going to have to pause the replay now. Just otherwise it's going to end. But that was a dramatic last lap there. Epic stuff. So we'll just go and get the results in of the race for you now, followed by a couple of replays if we can get some in. Now, unfortunately, guys, the hard drive that I had all the results on everything, unfortunately got corrupted, so we are having to skip this, but in future, obviously, I will be live streaming these races. I've got the first 3 rounds on video, which I'm going to put up like this, but then I'll be doing the results live as we do it, so apologies for that. So, as we come back from that then, your winner overall is TY. A good race there from TY, Will, and a good example of how to do it. Just kept Ewan on his kept Ewan on his toes, and a good all-round job there from TY.
Yeah, I mean, he did a really good race. I mean, was able to keep the strategy where he wanted it, the pace where he wanted it, and that ended up getting him up to the front on a huge lead towards the end.
So a brilliant race for TY, and also a good win there for Florida Man as well in the Lexus. A very good, impressive race for him, and also impressive for Blake getting the podium out after the pit stop. But just some words on Florida Man, Will.
I mean, he had a really good race, and out of the 2 Lexus, kept his nose the cleanest out of the 2.
Yeah,
and ended up having a good race, able to he was set behind everybody. Didn't really think he was going to be contender. Thought MGR was going to be contender out of the 2, but ended up coming through the win. The same thing with Blake. Wasn't really for the best Porsche out of the 2, but ended up at the end coming through for the second on. Just ended up being able to take advantage of what was happening on track.
So a brilliant race there from Tokyo. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Will, for joining as well. And we will see you guys next time for race 2. Take care, guys.